Ark Survival Evolved has grown from a single small island into a rich universe with a complicated storyline. To understand the lore in all of its complexity, players must venture back to the island, the original Ark map of course, and scattered across the map players will find explorer notes written by the first 4 survivors of the island. These explorer notes are crucial to discovering the storylines of the original survivors, offering clues on who they were and what became of them. The 4 authors of the island's explorer notes are Helena Walker, a modern-day biologist from Australia, Sir Edmund Rockwell, a vein chemist from the 19th century London, Gaius Marcellus Nerva, a ferocious warrior from ancient Rome, and Mei Yin Li, a young fighter from 3rd century China. While all 4 are different, they do share some similarities. For example, Walker and Rockwell are both scientists fixated on discovering the properties for all living things that dwell on the island. However, Rockwell's sinister nature sets them apart, making Walker more akin to Mei Yin, who is surprisingly compassionate nature among her fierce exterior. In the beginning, all survivors lived in relative peace with one another, working toward a shared goal of surviving the unforgiving biomes and the terrifying creatures that lied on the map. However, as Nerva's tribe, called New Legion, grew in power, tensions between settlements began to rise. Admired for his intellect, Rockwell acts as a peacemaker between the tribes and agrees to meet with Nerva and try to calm him. However, upon meeting, Rockwell sees something in Nerva's plans that appeals to his own sinister motives and actually decides to side with him. After joining forces, Rockwell's private experiments lose their momentum. At his prime, test subjects had been fellow survivors, faced with expanses of time and nothing to fill it with. Rockwell decides to explore the island's cave systems, thus becoming the first original survivor to discover the artifacts and their mysterious connection with the 3 obelisks. Puzzled by this connection though, Rockwell summons the help of a tribe called the Howling Wolves to help him locate the rest of the artifacts. Now, while the New Legion tribe terrorizes neighbouring tribes, Walker and Mei Ying become friends, brought together by Walker's interest in Mei Ying's pack of tamed creatures. Although Walker later leaves Mei Ying to join Rockwell in his scientific endeavours, their trust still remains strong though. While Mei Ying is on her own, she also encounters a tribe called the Painted Sharks, who are under threat by New Legion. On the night of the battle, Mei Ying appears with her army of beasts and defeats New Legion. She is banished by the tribe and sought to protect, and while on her own she manages to tame the Giganotosaurus, the Tiny Tim, which she nicknames the Demon King. Then Walker reaches a turning point in her findings and realises that there's something odd about the island, stating it is the opposite of how any ecosystem is supposed to work. Enriched with Rockwell's knowledge on the island's 3 obelisks, she retrieves several artifacts and returns to the Beast Queen. Together, they approach one of the towering obelisks and activate a boss fight, managing to defeat the Megapithecus. Upon returning, they are ambushed by New Legion, and Mei Ying's most faithful companion, a black raptor called Mishui, is killed. Walker is also taken as a prisoner of war. Ignited for a desire for vengeance, Mei Ying follows the New Legion to the Tech Cave portal, discovering that Nerva and his tribe has located all of the artifacts and defeated all endgame bosses. Mei Ying finds Walker trapped into a cage at the portal, freeing her and then continuing her revenge mission. When Walker eventually follows Mei Ying through the portal, she finds no signs of human life, only a few bits of dried blood. Emerging into what looks like a space station, Walker sees planet Earth and the islands contained within a space station orbiting around the planet. Marked by the absence of Mei Ying, Nerva and the rest of New Legion suggested that it had already ascended by the time Walker arrived within the station. After the discovery, Walker ascends the Ark as well. For players who manage to survive the tech cave and make it to the space station, they will find several rooms open to exploration, each containing a hologram of planet Earth. The first hologram depicts Earth as it was during the Jurassic era, with Pangaea as its only continent on the surface. The second displays a modern day Earth, and the third shows a dead barren earth with red borders and plains. There are also 3 spawning chambers within the station, each with a hologram of either dinosaur or human, suggesting that this is how they're spawned onto the Ark. Studio Wildcard lays out some solid clues to explain Ark's origin through the hologram that shows Earth as a barren wasteland. This suggests obviously that the world of Ark may be set far in the future, and obviously, to be honest, it really is, you know, the death of humanity and all of that stuff, and it's just like, is everything really just all gonna end? And obviously, with Ark stations being the only remaining life in the solar system after players ascend, they're given a glimpse of the Ark DLC called Scorched Earth, leaving room for just general player questions and general inquisitivity from the players. You know, you're going to ascend, and actually finally also Scorched Earth does have the ascension cutscene as well, so you know, it's nice that all of that's been put together, because you know the story's kind of broken up, and once you put it all together, obviously the maps just tie in really nice and it all makes a lot of sense. So today I decided, why not just talk about some Ark and my thoughts and feelings on the game and what I think I'm just going to do as a whole, just generally as an update for all of you guys out there. This isn't going to be like the most accurate, extensive deep dive into everything that's going on in Ark at the moment, and I'm not intending it to be. If you want that, then go watch Raasclark's news videos. They are honestly amazing. They are going to give you all the information that you need. But either way, let's just get into the just generals that you'll probably want to know. Scorched Earth is planned to come out, not Scorched Earth, sorry, the center, already off to a great start, is coming out in early June. I think it's June the 3rd, although you probably can expect maybe a delay or two, but you know, hopefully not, and that's when it releases, and is releasing with the Raasclark, and I think a lot of you are really excited for that map, and I am as well, although I haven't been all too much playing a lot of ASA, so I'm not as excited as some of you out there, but it is definitely a big thing. And it was also looking like Nitrado made quite a big mistake in a way with that partnership with Snail Games, as they've completely cut back their Spanish audience, just eradicating it entirely, and they've had some cutbacks on staffs as well, and it looks like they're not doing as well as they originally thought they would financially. So it's just Snail Games boasting about how much they actually make, even though in reality they seem to be in quite a lot of debt at the moment, and that's maybe not the best for them, is it? You know, thinking about it, I think Snail Games needs to get on top of themselves a little bit more, and obviously with Nitrado, for the next couple of years, they'll be your only server providers for ASA, and that really does give them a lot of competitive advantage to just completely change everything up as they please, and they have done a little bit of that, although the audience backlash has kind of put them into some form of place. Obviously there are some things which you can do to get around it and run your own servers, but they're not the easiest things in the world, and most people are still going through Nitrado. But the thing that they seem to be most worried about is when that contract ends, they might be in an awful state because of their reputation being absolutely thrown out of the window, and then other competitors which are much better respected actually being in the market for people to use, and that is going to vastly improve all of the community experience for the servers for some, as they get to use the server providers that they love, and that's actually a reason why some people have just been going back to Ark Survival Evolved. I could say myself included there as well. As ASA, don't get me wrong, it is a very nice looking game, and it really is a level up of Ark Survival Evolved, but for me it's just not so much better that I will warrant playing through all of that again, and I want to play through some other DLCs which aren't on ASA at the moment, and from my point of view that's perfectly understandable. I'm not here today to hate on ASA, because that's simply not what's needed. We don't need to promote more hate for the game, we need to try and give it as much chance as it possibly can, otherwise there's no point in it doing well. It just essentially everything that the developers do to the game to try and improve it, there'll just be backlash upon backlash, and it's not going to make the game any better. We all need to go straight for it with the best mindset, and this will get a lot of peace of mind from the developers, and we might actually see some real improvements instead of just shouting them all at the developers to actually do things. If we maybe kindly ask them a little bit, then some more things might actually get done. Just an assumption of mine, but you know, if we take a calm approach, we actually might have a much better time with everything. Also, the animated series has like fully dropped nationally, although it's not actually in all the countries, but now it's just not the USA and Canada. You can have it in like Austria and the UK and Spain and places like that. I think they're there. I'll just put the countries on screen right now actually, because I might as well, because I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. So yeah, that is good that it's all out there, and loads of people have done extensive dives into the animated series. Some people were saying, when is there going to be a physical copy? There might not be a physical copy because, you know, understandably a lot of people don't want a subscription to Paramount Plus just to watch the Ark Survival Evolved animated series. If it came to Netflix, that would actually be quite cool, because a lot more people do have that, and then maybe I would join in a bit more with that as well. But sadly, I do not have a Paramount Plus subscription, and I'm not just going to do it just to watch the animated series, but it has definitely received some good reception, and I'm glad that has been so successful. They've also actually added along with it Bob from the animated series, as far as I'm concerned, with like some of his extra lines on all the emotes, and you can be him in the game and do all those extra emotes and cool things too. And it, you know, he looks a little bit weird, but you know, all the animated skins do in Ark anyway, and it continues at that theme. Now, to talk about probably the last thing that I would bring to attention for this video is just generally what am I going to do with Ark and just everything as stuff goes forward, as I have been going into a lot of other games recently off the channel, and I'm enjoying those a lot as well, but I'm not sure they would catch on quite as well as Ark. And obviously Ark is still a game which I really love, and I want to keep playing it, and obviously I want to keep doing those top 10s. A lot of you have been wanting tutorials as well. I'm going to double down on that, and some more tutorials will be out soon. I'll work on recording some, and obviously I might try and do some of these more chilled videos as well. It's easy from the editing side of things, it's easy from the production side of things, and generally they're quite fun to do, and it lets me be open with you guys about my thoughts, and then you can share your thoughts as well, and they don't actually tend to do too badly, so you know, I don't really hate them for that whatsoever, and I like doing this style of content as well, just a bit more relaxed, and it just adds a lot more variety as well. Also, if you are wondering about the 2 video a day thing, I'm just putting a compilation out earlier in the day just to see if it can grow the channel a little bit more and gain some financial benefit from it. If you feel like you have to watch all of those, you don't. I'm not forcing you to. I'm just trying to bring in new viewers through that, and it has been working over the past couple of days, and we have been seeing a little bit more traction on the channel. So if you were wondering about that, that's what I'm just using it for. And actually, talking about mods on Ark Survival Ascended, they are really going well. I am loving all of the new mods that we're seeing. Like, we've got like a new kind of shark in the game, and some armor and some cookware, and there's loads of stuff all the time with mods in ASA, and it really is just such a cool community that we have. Because I want to end this video on a good note. I don't want to be like what I have been in prior times and just complain about things. I want to end saying that we really do have a great community here in the Ark Survival Evolved Ascended world, just the Ark world in general. And if we really push this game to its limit, and all those modders out there keep modding, doing your thing, it is really looking good. But if we do all of this and we keep supporting the game, then I'm sure it will get into a state which we can all be very happy with, and I'm still just very glad that this game exists.